It's 4:30 and this is WKYT This Morning. A severe storm blew through Bourbon County, bringing down many trees as it passed by. We'll take a look at some of the cleanup.
We are also looking at some tense moments in Scott County where many people were under a tornado warning at one point during the round of storms.
And in sporting news, the first round of the NBA draft is over. We'll see where the chips fell for some former Wildcats now going pro. All that and more on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. I'm Bill Bryant. Also some big changes in the world overnight. The Brits decide to exit the EU, and as a resignation for the Prime Minister.
For David Cameron, yeah, really, for some it comes as a shock, almost, split down the middle with that vote. But it looks like Britons have voted to leave the European Union. But let's go to Micah right now and see what's happening with our weather.
Yeah, the good news here is the storms are long gone. You won't get storms today. Is there a slight chance that you could get a passing shower in the east? Yeah, there's a possibility. For the most part, we're going to stay dry today and actually pretty pleasant. We're at 68 degrees right now for many locations. A couple of 70s mixed in. It's not too bad of a feel, and once we hit in the afternoon, we're mid-80s, a pretty nice Friday in store. That's actually right at normal. We get into your weekend, though. Your weekend is very hot and humid. But what about storms for your weekend? Do we have any? I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you. We're going to begin with the breaking news out of Britain this morning. British Prime Minister David Cameron is resigning after Britain votes to leave the European Union.
The Leave side was ahead by about 51.7% to 48.3% in favor of staying. The pound suffered one of its biggest one-day falls in history, plummeting more than 10% in 6 hours from about $1.50 to below $1.35. The United Kingdom is the first major country to leave the EU, which was formed after World War II.
Now back here in Kentucky, a severe storm blew through Bourbon County, bringing down many trees as it passed by.
Some roads were blocked by large trees, so crews actually brought in bulldozers to get those out of the way. Monique Blair takes a look at the cleanup.
Paris is calm now, but we were in Bourbon County earlier as the storm rolled through. And although it didn't last very long, road crews did have some cleaning up to do. First came the rain. The rain was heavy at times and there was some lightning, but it really didn't stick around too long. Shortly after the rain stopped, we found a tree had fallen on Spears Mill Road. Road crews told me they're able to clean trees off the roads pretty quickly out here. Then on the other side of Paris, another tree completely covered Clay Kaiser Road. Rosemarie Leithart lives on Clay Kaiser Road, and she thinks this damage to her Bradford pear tree was caused by lightning.
I heard a big clap like a thunder, and then it just went over, I guess, because I didn't see it. I went out and looked on the back porch, and it was already down.
And although it's only a tree, Leithart says it holds a special meaning to her.
See, my sister died in '99, and she went with me right before she died to get that tree.
The people I talked to tonight told me although there was some minor damage left behind from the storm, the most important thing was that nobody was hurt. In Bourbon County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
In Lexington, firefighters blame lightning for a fire that damaged a home. The people who live in the home on Richmond Road say lightning struck the top of the home and caught the roof on fire. They say they heard a loud boom, and their neighbors called them to tell them the house was on fire. Everyone inside, including the pets, got out safely. Firefighters say there's now a hole in the roof where the lightning hit it and sparked that fire. Also in Lexington, a tree fell on a home along Rosemont Garden. It caused some damage to a roof and a front awning. The area around the home was blocked off, but no injuries were reported by this fallen tree.
Scott County was under a tornado warning at one point during this round of storms. While emergency managers say they didn't receive any reports of a tornado touching down, the storm did cause some tense moments. Our Garrett Weimer has those details.
After the storms passed and the skies cleared, John McCall still had some work to do.
Debris and chaff and hay and trash and logs and everything else. It gets in the fence and you got to clean it out. It makes a mess.
The water had gone down by then, but McCall says heavy rains caused the creek here to flood Double Culvert Road.
It was up to about the second board from the top, and The whole road was covered from one end of the fence to the other.
Emergency management officials here in Scott County say they're relieved that the storms were not as bad as they expected.
Actually had National Weather Service calling my cell phone saying this looks like a West Liberty type storm.
The Emergency Operations Center tracked the storms all day. Much of the county was under a tornado warning for about an hour, but thankfully nothing touched down and there wasn't any damage reported.
It was about the worst we've seen on radar in several years. Luckily, most of the things that we were seeing on radar stayed up in the upper atmosphere.
John McCall was also relieved to see everything on his farm was okay.
I was worried that the cattle would get down here in the deeper water, maybe get swept out or something, and it kind of worries you. So I come to check on them, and they were okay, so I figured I'd just let the water go back down.
In Scott County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
In Campbellsville, firefighters are trying to figure out if lightning sparked a large fire at a business. According to the Central Kentucky News Journal, that fire caused major damage at H&W Sports. There is no word on any injuries there. Now remember, you can track storms when you're away from the TV with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores.
The wait is over for former UK basketball player Jamal Murray. He now knows where he'll be playing in the NBA.
With the 7th pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Denver Nuggets select Jamal Murray from Kitchener, Canada, and the University of Kentucky.
And there's John Calipari there to congratulate Murray, who put together a spectacular season at Kentucky, averaging 20 points per game. He's headed to Denver at number 7. Much later in the evening, Skal Labissiere fell out of the lottery but stayed in the first round. He went to the Phoenix Suns at number 28. Then he was traded to the Sacramento Kings, where he will play along former Wildcat DeMarcus Cousins. Lee K. Howard spoke with Murray just shortly after he was drafted.
You told me the other day that Minnesota would be a good destination, but you wouldn't care exactly who you went to. Denver, a team that maybe not a lot of people projected you to go to. How do you feel now that you are a Nugget?
Great. So happy. Thankful that they picked me. I was excited to get it going. Excited to show them what I got, and I know they wanted me, so I just want to make them proud.
Tyler Ulis was the 34th overall pick by the Phoenix Suns. Ulis joins 4 other former Kentucky guards in Phoenix. Overall, Coach Cal has had 27 players drafted since he arrived at Kentucky.
Quite a credit to the coach there, certainly. Sheriff's deputies in Boyle County looking for a hit-and-run driver who they say seriously injured a woman. The crash happened late Monday night on Highway 2168, not far from US 127. Deputies say a car sideswiped Angela Fox as she rode her moped. They say the driver of the car did not stop to help her. Deputies say Fox has had to undergo surgery since being hit. They say they do not have a good description of the car, but they say it is maroon.
Same direction, so the maroon vehicle, in my understanding, was passing the moped, so it would be on the passenger side of the maroon vehicle.
Deputies are asking for help in tracking down the driver. They say the victim, again Angela Fox, who was on that moped and had a suspended license, so she could face charges as well. Investigators are still trying to track down another hit-and-run driver who they say caused a child's death in Pulaski County. 10-year-old Stanley Turner died Monday night after being hit by a car on Rock Lick Creek Road. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office tells us they had no new leads in the case as of last night. They said they want to question a woman driving a red 4-door car who was seen in the area around the time of the crash. A candlelight vigil is being organized for Stanley. That will be Monday night at 7:30 outside the Science Hill Post Office.
A Franklin County judge says he will likely not be making a ruling in Governor Bevin's decision to dissolve the University of Louisville Board of Trustees before July 1st. That's the deadline for the university to decide on a budget and a tuition increase. Attorney General Andy Beshear has asked the judge to overturn the governor's decision, saying he didn't have the authority to dissolve the board. But the judge said the dispute is, quote, uncharted territory, and the university will have to continue functioning while the court sorts things out. We have learned bluegrass music legend Ralph Stanley has died at the age of 89. His publicist says Stanley died earlier yesterday. Stanley is a native of Virginia. He and his brother Carter formed the Stanley Brothers and the Clinch Mountain Boys. groups in 1946. Ralph Stanley became a member of the Grand Ole Opry in 2000, and he won a Grammy in 2002. So the music world mourning the loss of a legend, it looks like.
Definitely the bluegrass music world is certainly mourning the loss of Ralph Stanley. 4:40 the time, 20 before 5. WKYT This Morning is just getting started.
Thanks for starting your morning off with us. They're good for you and have a beautiful color coming up on WKYT This Morning. Kind of looks like a Pop-Tart, doesn't it? We'll take a look at this. Is a veggie, actually. That's pretty good to eat, we hear.
Those storms have now moved on out. It's long gone. It's going to be a hot and humid weekend. I promise you that. I'm going to show you those numbers coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Finally got those storms on out of here. And what we're going to be looking at across the region, those clouds moving on out. We got a few more clouds filtering on in. The clouds up toward Indiana and now into northern Kentucky, those are actually from a shower back toward really a thunderstorm kind of falling apart. But that's well back toward the west. And once it completely falls apart, well, those clouds will start to fall apart. And we'll start to see some sunshine when we wake up early in the morning. And finally, that sun rises once we hit the afternoon, 86 degrees. So mostly cloudy this morning. And then you'll start to see the sunshine appear once those clouds kind of separate and disappear. 86 isn't bad. That's actually average for this time of year. We'll stay with mostly sunny skies. Can't rule out a very slight chance, 5–10% chance of a passing shower, especially for eastern Kentucky. But other than that, we stay dry today. It's a really nice finish to your work week. So we go off into the night and into tomorrow morning. You got any plans going on? We'll have mostly sunny skies. Things are looking just fine. I'm not really seeing much of an issue whatsoever. And the breakdown of your forecast is a really nice finish to the work week. It's what a lot of people will be talking about today, well, other than the storms in Jamal Murray. But they'll also be talking about how nice this Friday is going to be. Then we hit the weekend. That's another talker, low to mid-90s. So we're not only talking about heat, but also humidity too. And add those two together, we could be 95 to 100 degrees there for a heat index later on this weekend. Very, very steamy. With that, you cannot rule out a chance of rain there on Sunday. Mainly Sunday, not so much Saturday. Saturday still looks pretty good. Storms do return next week, though, as we'll have showers and thunderstorms, rounds of those as we head throughout your 7-day forecast. Let's break that down for you. Let me show you your 7 days. So today, 86 with partly sunny skies. Remember, we're still looking at that 10% chance of rain. Can't rule it out. And that goes for tomorrow, too. But today and tomorrow, we're still looking at mainly calm conditions. It's about the temperatures. 94 tomorrow, 95 there on Sunday. You can see Monday, we're holding on to 90 degrees. So these are really, really steamy conditions. And it's just going to be one of those times that you're just going to have to put that water in you, try to stay cool all weekend long. And it looks like once we head off toward next week, those rounds of thunderstorms do return to the forecast. Finally, we got those storms on out of the way. Luckily, we didn't have much damage with a lot of these storms as they passed on through. And luckily, again, we actually picked up some pretty good rain in most of the region. The unfortunate part was there were some flash flooding spots, isolated flash flooding spots here and there. Hopefully we can get that taken care of today and kind of get that water to recede a little bit. But for the most part, it was beneficial rain to the yards. It was very loud, very active at times, and finally we moved that on out.
Yeah,
3-day event. It's long gone.
Well, you know, just sort of a constant threat there for 3 days. All right, Micah, we appreciate it. 4:46 now. Even if you're not a huge fan of beets or you're new to cooking with them, today's recipe is a good place to start.
Yeah, beets are great, right? It's a mild flavor and great nutritional value. Make it a win-win. Here's more in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
Hi, today we're in the kitchen with Liz Keplinger, blogger at Inspired by the Seasons, and today we're making beet butter.
Yes.
What is it?
It's a luscious combination of cooked beets, macadamia nuts, little balsamic vinegar, blend it up. What you do is you peel the beets, boil them for about 20 minutes when they're fork tender, take them out, put them in a blender with macadamia nuts and a little olive oil, bring it till it's smooth, and you can either serve it on a cracker as an appetizer right away, you can cover it, refrigerate it, use it on sandwiches or bagels. It's really versatile, fairly sweet.
Yeah, on its own.
On its own.
And it's a beautiful color because of the beets.
It is.
So I mean, you know, it adds to your appetizers or your lunch, and the beets are good for you.
They are. It works the vegetable in that is very aesthetically pleasing. So that's half the battle, right?
Right, and they're always available.
Yes.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com. Click on Moms Every Day.
And right there, the latest news and your weekend weather as well on our website. Hey, it's good to have you with us on WKYT this morning. We have so much more to tell you about on this Friday.
Neighbors say a woman escaped a house fire in Lexington by jumping from a second-story window. Now she needs help finding her pets. That story coming up.
Good morning and welcome back into WKYT this morning on your Friday. We're glad you're with us. And neighbors say a woman escaped a house fire in Lexington because she jumped from a second-story window.
The fire started at the home on Forest Cove Lane near Richmond Road. Firefighters say the woman was not seriously injured, but they say the home is a total loss. They say they have not been able to find the woman's 2 dogs and 2 cats. Neighbors say they're doing what they can to help.
She might have lost her animals, and that was her world, and so I really feel for her about that.
Firefighters also say the fire damaged vinyl siding on 2 homes next door. They're still trying to figure out exactly what caused it.
A federal judge has ruled against a Letcher County distillery in its trademark dispute against the University of Kentucky. The judge threw out Kentucky Mist Moonshine's lawsuit that was filed against UK. The judge ruled that UK has sovereign immunity, which protected it from the lawsuit. Kentucky Mist sued UK over the use of the word Kentucky on clothing. A UK spokesman says the ruling recognizes the school's interest in protecting trademark interests. The distillery has not said yet if it will appeal.
Some people in Danville got to see a rather unusual sight. A bear was seen around the Kentucky School for the Deaf campus and elsewhere around Danville. The school actually went on lockdown as a precaution. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife says it's not unusual for bears to wander into populated areas around this time, but it is unusual to see one in Danville.
We did set a trap because of where this bear is. You know, potential for roadkill is very high, and we want to protect the bear if possible and get him back somewhere safe.
Fish and Wildlife says it is illegal to feed bears. They say the animals are lazy and will stay around places they know they can easily get food. Well,
but I guess sometimes, but the Danville bear was on the move, right? In Lexington, as some people attended a good show for a good cause. The annual Children's Charity Cabaret was held at Heritage Hall. It's part of the Children's Charity Classic Week. The event included dinner, music, and a performance by comedian Jeff Foxworthy. You'll be able to watch the Children's Charity Golf Tournament tomorrow afternoon at 3, and that'll be right here on WKYT. Well, coming right up, we'll take a look at some of the news stories we're working on for you this morning.
Also have another look at your morning forecast.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning, 4:56 right now.
Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you on this morning.
Well, following breaking news in Britain this morning, Prime Minister David Cameron announcing that he is resigning later this year after Britain votes to leave the European Union. We'll have more coverage on this shocking move at the top of the hour here on WKYT.
Back here in Kentucky, tomorrow's Lexington's Pride Festival. We know that there will be more security at the festival, of course, following that popular in Orlando at that gay nightclub. We are live looking ahead to the festival here in town to see how they're stepping up security. But first, we want to take it over to Micah, who's got a look at our Friday weather.
Yeah, and the Friday weather actually looks pretty good. We get into your afternoon, we go from the 60s and 70s to the 80s later on this afternoon, and mid-80s for this time of year. That's actually average, so we'll take that. Not only that, you'll actually see some sunshine today. It's going to be hard-pressed to get a lot of sunshine in the morning, especially right as the sun comes up, because we still have some clouds overhead. But once we hit midday and once we hit the afternoon, we will see mostly sunny skies with just a few clouds here and there. It's a pretty pleasant day, mid-80s expected, and then we hit the weekend. We go from the mid-80s to possibly the mid-90s. We're going to go over that with another 2 hours of WKYT news coming up, the hot, humid conditions. But what about any thunderstorm threat this weekend? I'll have that in just about 2 minutes.